Hi guys, my name's Mike. I'm just here to really introduce this channel and what we're looking to do. So ultimately, we're looking to, and this is in response to a member of the Facebook group that I'm involved with, and that's the SWANK diet. And people who follow the SWANK diet tend to find it very difficult to maintain the weight. They're dropping weight because of the restrictions of the diet, and that's mainly because you see a great reduction in the saturated fats and all that. So what we're going to look at is just go over a couple of steps about how we can gain weight. And that's going to be still keeping our saturated fats below the 15 grams. But for dairy products, a lot of things call for milk. We're going to skip the milk. We're going to bring in things like almond milk. There's cashew milk, but out of the two, I would stick with almond milk due to the lower fat content. Um, there's weight gainers out there to help us maintain that weight, and there's the vegan weight gainers that are in total compliance with the SWANK diet. You don't have to worry about having too high of saturated fats or trans fats or any of that, okay? Also, the other kind of idea that we're going to look at is the idea of raw foods. And that just means that it's anything prepared under 140 degrees Celsius. So it can still be cooked, but the raw food is really good for us because what we find is we're not losing a lot of the nutrients that come with the food. Okay, so by not cooking it too much, we're preserving some of those nutrients that we need to stick with. Also, with the raw foods, we're going to be looking at kind of what some of the denser foods out there. The denser the food, the less we have to eat. So we get more of the nutrients that we need without the massive food that you would normally get out of, let's say, and I'm going to make up a number here, say you have 10 fruits and they have 1 gram each, or we could have one fruit with 10 grams. If we eat that super dense nutrient food, we're able to eat just one, have all the nutrients that we need, and not have to consume nearly as much. And what we also find with this eating, we're looking at eating foods that requires less calories to digest. Okay, so the more readily digestible that the food is, we're actually expending less calories to actually absorb the nutrients out of that food. So by doing that, we're going to not need as many calories to maintain our weight. So we'll find that our calorie requirement will reduce and we won't have to eat as many calories, yet we're able to maintain that same gain, the same weight that we want, okay? And the last thing we're going to look at is pacing. And pacing is going to be super important because we're going to look at it from the method that I use, okay? And is it perfect? Maybe. It works for me. I was down to 120, I'm 6'1.5". I was down to 125 pounds. I'm now 150, 151 pounds, and I'm still making some weight gains, okay? And the gym plays a role in it, but it's more than just throwing weight around, okay? It's using that weight more intelligently. And what I find that pacing is super important because with multiple sclerosis, we need to be very, very careful about burning ourselves out too much. We need to be very careful about how much we tax our central nervous system, okay? So you'll see some conflicting things with the idea of HIIT and all that. So high intensity training. So there's some differences there. But what we're going to focus on, what I focus on is not going super, super heavy because that's taxing our central nervous system. But I do a weight no more than 80% of my maximum. Okay, so let's say 100 pounds would be my max, which it isn't, but we're just saying that, we would only lift 80 pounds, okay? So we can do that, and what we're going to be doing, and with pacing, we're looking at time under tension, and the Soviets were really, really good at developing this for their powerlifters and everything else. So when it comes to that, we're going to be looking at, say we're doing a push-up, we'll take 5 seconds to go down, or a 5 count to go down, and a 5 count back up. And what we're going to find is we don't have to do as many reps, but we're going to aim to get approximately anywhere from 40 to 90 seconds per set, okay? So we're not going to have to do a ton of push-ups. We're going to do a ton of time under. When I say a ton of time, 90 seconds doesn't sound a lot, but 90 seconds is a lot because it's time under tension, okay? So I can either lift 100 pounds in 1 second, or I can lift 80 pounds for 2 seconds. So when you do the math, we're looking at 160 versus 100. The 160 is higher, so we're going to get greater benefits out of that, and we're not going to overtax ourselves. So that's generally what we're looking at on this channel. This is the first go at it. If you have any comments, please leave those. I'll be going over some of the exercises. I'll be putting up things for that. If you have any specific areas that you want to work on, let me know. I'll just show you what I do, and if people have specific things, I'll totally address that, and we'll look at some of those kind of some of those fixes that are going to be able to help us improve our balance, help us improve our strength, our coordination, all the things that just are kind of symptoms of having multiple sclerosis. When I had my first attack, I ended up in rehab or physical therapy for 3 months because I couldn't walk in a straight line anymore. I was running into walls, I had double vision, I had all kinds of things going on. I still have permanent double vision out in my left field of vision, so out here all the time. So the more tired I get, the worse my vision gets and balance and all that stuff. But I'm pretty good with having adjusted to all those things, and I've played sports my entire life. When my first major was sports medicine, uh, so I've done a good amount of work in the gym and research and things like that. So hopefully this is helpful. Leave me some comments about where you want me to go next. We're going to look at a couple of specific exercises for legs for my friend AT, and we're going to work on some balance and coordination things in the next video coming up. But thank you for listening and have a great day. Remember, don't push yourself too hard, but push yourself to where you know your body better than anyone else.